Hello, Freddie from Loose Lips here. As many of you may know, on the 9th of September we are doing a fundraiser for Corearts Hackney down at the Grow in Hackney on the river. We've got lots of amazing acts all day, and we're joined by two members of Corearts here, and we're going to have a chat with them and build the excitement for next Saturday. We're joined by Juliana, who is the Deputy Director.
Hi.
And we're joined by Gary, Member and Trustee. Thank you very much for chatting to us today. And so first of all, I just wanted to ask, for someone who doesn't know about Corearts, please can you introduce the organisation? What are the principles behind the work you do?
Okay, we are a mental health charity that has over 80 classes a week in 5 departments. We have 900 students a year referred to us by the NHS. They're people, adults over 18 who have mental health issues, both mild and moderate and severe. We started in 1992 and we've been running for 25 years.
Fantastic. And how and why did you start it in the first place?
We started because the Corearts community had just started. They'd closed the asylums and people were put in the community, and we arrived in Hackney and we were looking for a free studio. It started by the artist Paul Monks. He got a free studio in the old Hackney hospital, and within a week the only thing that was left in the Hackney hospital was where people who had mental health issues were getting their depot. That's an injection to give you your medication. And within a week they were all in his studio, and he realised that there was a massive lack of things to do for people who had mental health issues. And he realised that by talking to the people that he met in his studio, that people, these predominantly young males, were they're the ones who came in his studio at the start in Hackney. It was almost 95% young Afro-Caribbean males, were unbelievably creative, and no one had given them that opportunity to show the creativity, and that's how it started. And they got together as a service user group, and a young man called Carl gave it its name, saying they are the core of what is happening, like the core of an apple, the core of something.
Fantastic. And why do you think it is that since then it's developed that creativity has been able to help people with mental health
issues
so much?
Yeah, so people with mental health issues sometimes lack activity, that's one thing, and I think being creative accesses a different part of the brain.
Yeah.
Like the right hemisphere of the brain is the creative side, and if you're regularly creative, that does lead to well-being. So a lot of the studies now coming out of different organisations showing, you know, almost being healthily busy, painting, dancing, you know, drawing, or even playing music really helps to develop, you know, well-being and maintain it. So if you're doing it regularly during the week, it kind of maintains well-being. And the medical model sometimes just treat people with medications, and if they go off home, sooner or later they might go back into the same cycles again, because they haven't got a meaningful activity, and particularly a creative activity, you know, to you know, be busy with. You know, so that's why it's so important.
Busy with their own talents, I suppose. Yeah. Fantastic. And so what's the process when someone comes in for the first time?
Well,
and how do they get introduced to the different tasks here?
what we do is they're referred to us, and the first thing they do is they have a meeting with one of our member managers, and they're asked, what are your dreams? What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve here? What have you always wanted to do that you haven't been able to? And they can look at our timetable, which has 80 classes a week, and they're asked to choose something that helps them achieve those goals, and how can we help them do that. So it's a journey that the individual chooses with our assistance. It's not set in stone. Once they choose it, they can change it. They can change it the next week, the next month, the next year, according to how long they stay with us. They can add to it. So it's a holistic way of looking at the creativity process. So they might want to perform in a band, or perform on a stage, but they never performed on a stage first, so they might want to play a musical instrument. So then we say, well, maybe learn guitar, that then goes with your singing, and then you might do ICT that then gets you your cover for your CD.
Exactly,
So
rounded learning, yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole journey, and we can do everything here, including the progression, which is giving people opportunities to perform and to show their artwork, to take part in sporting activities and competitions, and to then get assistance to go back to college if they want to, or maybe to change careers. If they've come here as an engineer, they might want to go out as a fine artist. And so that's
show their
the journey.
creativity to the wider world, yeah. Fantastic. And so, presumably you work with the NHS when someone is diagnosed. How does that process work? What's the communication? Have you always dealt with the NHS?
Yeah, we've always had referrals. At the very beginning, it was more of a drop-in, but still with referrals, and now it's all referrals. They just somebody who shows an interest in creativity or who likes. They have a tour. We have a tour every Friday, and people are shown around the centre. That then gives them an indication of what they could be doing here, and to see whether they want to join us. It's a little bit like a free school. No one asks anyone to stay in a class or to turn up or to come.
Yep.
But people come because they like what they see and they like what they learn here. We have very, very high quality education, like a really good college. All our tutors are qualified, and not only are they qualified in teaching, they're also professional artists, musicians, writers, actors, poets in their own right. So it's a collaborative journey between the member and the member of staff. For example, we might both be putting an exhibition piece in for the Royal Academy, and one of our clients will get in, and one of the tutors won't. You know, it's not like we're in the same journey.
Exactly.
Just to add to that as well, over in the hospital, in my experience, in the wards and everything, it's quite disempowering the way creativity is led, whether it's through OT, whereas at Core, it's an empowering space.
Yeah.
So we're like seen as artists and musicians. Self-esteem is a big thing in mental health. That's what's crushed when you're in hospital. This place helps to develop self-esteem, get the confidence back. That's one of the biggest things. Not to go out and become a professional singer or artist. That's okay, but just getting that slight confidence, self-esteem, be able to share a poem in one of our gigs. People go away deeply happy over getting that self-esteem, which gets crushed in the system, whether it's a year or 10 years within the revolving door systems. That's the beauty of Corearts. It helps to get that confidence back and then get back on track with your life.
Fantastic.
That's how it works.
Presumably that's why in that recent study you had, was it 95% or 97%?
97.
Non-readmission of people who came through, which is absolutely amazing statistic.
And in the previous, 2 to 5 years, I'd gone back every year at least 2 to 3 times. And after a 12-month intervention, coming here 1 or 2 days a week, 97% did not go back into hospital.
That's absolutely amazing.
Which shows that creativity and education and the self-esteem. And we forgot to say the community that we build here, which is like a family that supports each other, the co-mentoring.
Yes, that's a key thing. And isolation is one of the biggest things. So when you're coming into Core, it's like a family. You see people, you can chat to people. In hospital, people get let go. They're at the gates with 2 bags, and they're off on their own. Could be for months. Corearts, that isolation being broken. We go and visit museums. We have a big sports program. Wonderful just to be around people, and the social aspect of it is one of the biggest.
And that makes people feel better.
Fantastic. I'm not surprised.
Because they have everything that they want when they come here. They have everything that they want to engage in, and the journey restarts from the eroded confidence to rebuilding it, to then going back into the community and feeling very valued.
Yeah, and those trips you talk about and the social aspect, I suppose, connects to the reason why we're doing this fundraiser next week. And so I'm interested to know what the money will be spent on. If you're going to come down to Loose Lips, we're going to be giving a big portion of the barway plus donations. And so tell everyone who might be coming down what the money will be spent on.
Well, we'd love the money for donations to go towards progressing our clients and our members to having exhibitions, art exhibitions, poetry readings, and music events, which are also open for the whole community. So it's our way of connecting with the community, ending stigma, challenging stigma, and showing the great talents that we have as a group of, you know, people that work in creative spaces, irrespective of whether you've had a mental health issue or not. What we don't ever want to feel like is that it's not outside the art, it's not outside the music, it's inside the art and music. It's just very good quality. And so the money goes towards showing that to people.
Yeah, fantastic.
I think there's an analogy that's been used a lot. It's not mine, but of a plant or a flower on a windowsill dying, withering away. You change the environment it's in. If you want it to bloom again or grow, you don't treat the flower directly. So Core's environment, it's like the environment here is so conducive to health that people come in with a new guy in the poetry group just this week, and his face is, you know, lighting up, and he's writing, and his slight confidence is coming back. That's the process of the environment here. It's a healthy environment, and we want people at Core to see the place, because people do comment on the tour how wonderful this place is and friendly and stuff like that. So I just think people should visit more and come along and see us.
So but that's where the money will go towards, you know, opening up what we do here to the whole community and really engaging with that whole, you know, challenging stigma.
Cool. Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for both chatting to us.
Thank you, and thank you. Can I also say thank you very much for doing a fundraiser for us?
Yes,
that is
that's
great. Invaluable work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, hopefully you've learnt more about Corearts and come down next Saturday the 9th. It's going to be at the Grow, Hackney Wick. The forecast is quite nice, so hopefully we're lucky. So see you there. Thank you very much.